Mm-mm-mm. Yep. I don't know if the people can hear me right now. Yep. Let's go. Shout out cream cheese. You know what I'm saying? Expose evil. What kind of name is that? Expose evil. Who's evil? Are you like a flat earther? I don't know if I want to talk about flat earth. It's kind of crazy. The evolution. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. I'm really just trying to see what happens here. Like, nobody ever really jumps in these motherfuckers, so I'm probably gonna end it in another couple minutes anyway. But shouts out to you, Solo. Appreciate all you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Appreciate you. I'm tired of having to get muted. It's a matter of time. Okay. Yeah, I'll see what happens. I don't really know how this shit goes, so I'm just waiting for somebody to get triggered. So, you know, I like arguing with niggas, so that's cool with me. Yeah. Don't blame me on the grammar on here. The Canva AI app wrote that out for me like that. I didn't write it like that. So it's not my fault. We're blaming the AI. Another thing AI is ruining right now. But shout out to you, Charlie Kirk. Fucking Charlie Kirk. Him being the topic of discussion for the past week is very annoying to me. Why the hell do we care about Charlie goddamn Kirk? Like, you know, I get it. It's sad. Somebody lost their life. But, you know, in the famous words of Rico from Paid in Full, hey, niggas get shot every day, B. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, I know I'm not supposed to say that. Fuck. I gotta get used to controlling my words. Yeah, niggas, this is an everyday thing, man. You tough, right? You know what I'm saying? So, I hate that I'm contributing to this, but it's a hot topic, and I want niggas to argue with me, so I really have no choice. Shout out to Solo. I'm probably gonna keep this up here for another couple of minutes before I end this, because I don't get paid from this shit. We are Charlie. Hey, I feel you, man. I feel you, 208 Freedom. You are Charlie. Yes. You love Charlie Kirk. I feel you. You know, whether or not you agreed or disagreed with his politics is kind of beside the point for me. Like, you're allowed to be a conservative shithead, you know. Obviously, I don't agree with those conservative viewpoints. I think a lot of it is abhorrent. You know, I think it's actually kind of a gateway to other things that I don't know if I'm ready to get into right now, especially not by myself, not just yet. But, you know, you're allowed to be wrong. But also, on the flip side, you know, if somebody lose their life, they didn't really like them when they was alive, then, you know, I like to think about it like the old uncles back in the day, like your old uncle back in the day, him and his friend, like his friend owed him money and he never gave him that $20 he loaned him fucking 15 years ago, and they've been beefing with each other for the past 15 years over it, and the friend ended up passing away. That uncle is still holding on to that shit. Like, that dirty motherfucker died before paying me my $20 back. Like, he still don't like him. He's not speaking about this man in a respectful way. He's not being nice just because he's lost his life, you know? And I think that's how a lot of people are feeling about this Charlie Kirk shit. Like, it's not to say that we're happy he's dead. I mean, he lost his life, or we're glad, or we're doing the jig. Some people are, you know, and that's them. But the more reasonable of us, most of us, we're just like, okay, it's just another conservative shithead, you know? He's not here no more. It's whatever. You know? He definitely was a racist. He definitely was a bigot, you know? I don't like when motherfuckers will argue with you about if somebody is racist and be like, he wasn't racist. Name one thing he said that was racist. And nothing you tell them is good enough. Like, nothing short of saying I hate the blacks is enough to be considered racist to these people. All it turns into is, well, was he wrong? Well, it's out of context. What he really meant was this. It's like, okay, bro. That's the mental gymnastics you want to go through just to make your guy seem like he actually was still a good guy. You can do all that. Like, I don't have to, though. Like, I could just take, like, if he's saying like the Civil Rights Act was a mistake, you know, if you want to say, well, actually, if you listen to the whole thing, he was trying to say back in the day we was doing better because we had a family unit. Like, you could do all that if you want to, but, you know, he still said what he said, right? Like, your explanation doesn't really change the fact that he said, you know, that it was a mistake. Because what that implies is giving black people equal rights was a bad thing. You know, you saying, well, actually, back in the day during segregation, they were doing better. They had family units. Doesn't change that. You're not making it better by giving it context, quote unquote. So, like, your explanation, your context isn't changing the overall point. It doesn't change what he said. He said what he said. The ship was racist. I'm sorry. You can't get around that. He said what he said. The ship was racist. I'm sorry. You can't get around that. You know, but if you want to do the mental gymnastics and say, well, you know, actually, if you think about it, he was telling the truth because in 1942 we had family. Like, okay, bro. I'm not doing this with you, okay? If you want to believe so hard that Charlie Kirk was such a great man and he never said a racist thing in your life, that's your prerogative. I tend to listen to what motherfuckers said, you know? Like, there's some things, like when people say, you gotta give it context. You gotta let the whole hour-long video play before you can have an opinion. The crazy part is we listen to the full context. Like, you're already assuming that we haven't listened to the whole thing to begin with, which is already wrong at the start. But outside of that, like, y'all, we listen to the full context and it doesn't change anything. So, like, I don't know. It's a waste of time to me doing this with y'all, because it's disingenuous anyway, because you're gonna back your guy up no matter what I say. Nothing we say is gonna be racist enough to you to be considered racist. It's either gonna be it's quote unquote taken out of context, or, you know, he didn't say I hate the blacks, so that's good enough for me. Like, niggas' idea of what racism is so skewed. Like, they have a cartoon idea of what a racist person looks like. They think that they're all frothing at the mouth like skinhead KKK members, you know? If you're not if you don't have a white hood in your closet, then you can't be called racist, apparently. Yes, he spewed hatred just like Trump. Yeah, I mean, all the conservative Republican motherfuckers basically agree for the most part, which is interesting because the guy who did the attack was a conservative leaning person too. Like, from what I'm gathering, he was a groyper. If you don't know what a groyper is basically like a Nick Fuentes fan. Nick Fuentes, he's like a white supremacist, ethno-nationalist, you know, Christian nationalist, you know, all the bad things, right? Like, people like him don't think that people like Charlie Kirk are going hard enough. They're not racist enough. They're not bold enough in their racism for niggas like Nick Fuentes, which is crazy to me, but, you know, I'm gonna let the conservatives fight amongst themselves about the level of racism they want to be public about. That's up to them. It ain't got nothing to do with me, you know. I'm gonna let y'all, you know, come up with y'all's rubric on your own. To me, all I need to hear is the civil rights movement was a mistake, or the if I see a black person flying a plane, I'm gonna think they're DEI. I'm gonna think they're not qualified. Like, your first thought when you see a black person is to assume that they only got that job because they were black. Like, that's racist. Like, I know motherfuckers start saying context. It's out of context. He actually was talking about how bad DEI is. But, I mean, all you're really saying is that when you see a black person, you assume that they're not qualified. You assume that they're DEI. You assume that black people aren't able to do those things. You think that when you see black people doing something, uh, doing a job like that, like being a pilot or like being a doctor, in your mind, you don't say, oh, well, he must have had the qualifications. You automatically assume it's DEI and that, a black person can just roll up somewhere and because they're black, they just can get whatever job they want because they have a quota to meet. So they're just hiring niggas off the street now, apparently, according to you niggas. 4 years old, that's from a victim mentality. What do you mean by that? What's a victim mentality? What does victim mentality mean? Okay, let's get into that. What the fuck does that even mean? It's like a catchphrase now that niggas be saying. What does victim mentality even mean? All I ever think of when people say something victim mentality even mean. All I ever think of when people say something is a victim entitlement. That's another catchphrase. Like, y'all talk about the left and the liberals with their buzzwords. You niggas use a lot of buzzwords, bro. You niggas, y'all speak in buzzwords. Trans, entitlement, victim mentality, playing the race card, 1350. Like, you motherfuckers speak in buzzwords, bro. Let me see. It says, I'm poor, so I commit crimes and it's okay. Okay, so being poor isn't an excuse to doing crime. It's an explanation. Okay, so being poor isn't an excuse to doing crime. It's an explanation as to why you do crime. Yeah, typically, people don't commit robberies when they have money already. People, contrary to popular belief, I know everybody thinks that the black community and all the other criminals in the community are like frothing at the mouth, looking for a reason to do something to somebody. But like, people usually don't commit B&Es and robberies and stuff like that because they think it's fun. It's they're not doing it for no good reason. They're doing it because they need money. They're poor. Like, if they weren't poor, they wouldn't be doing that, most likely. That doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right. It just, that's why. If you're going to ask why, that's why. That's the explanation. It's not an excuse. It's an explanation. Don't act like you're confused about why people commit crimes. We know why people commit crimes. It's not because it's something that people just like to do. He said, how about the Queen's couple last night? Silly life choices. Okay, here's another thing. Oh my God. You people are like actual NPCs. Like, this man, he started off with the buzzwords. And then immediately pivots to some random anecdotal story to back up what he's trying to say. To answer your question, no, I don't know about the New York couple last night because there's literally 1 million New York couples that were alive last night. Which one? Okay, like I don't scour the internet looking for crimes. I don't scour the internet searching for shit to be enraged about. I don't look for. I don't go onto the Google and type in, what did black people do today? What crime did black people do today somewhere in America? Like, I don't do that. I'm not a fucking weirdo who bases their whole worldview on Walmart fights that I saw on Twitter. Maybe I should care a little. Care about what? Care about this individual story that happens every single day in every single community? Whatever the story is you're talking about, I'm sure this isn't, because I'm assuming this is probably some black people doing something bad. I'm almost positive this isn't the most heinous and craziest shit that we've ever heard of before. Like, this is, you're pathologizing an entire group of people based off of a story. Cream cheese. What's up, cream cheese, bro? Care about life. How about 1.5 million babies? Oh my God, you are literally an NPC. Bro, y'all literally all say the exact same thing. Oh my God. So now we're by the way, every comment that you've put up here is a pivot to a new thing. This is why I can confidently call you an NPC, because the buzzwords wasn't enough. So you moved on to the random anecdotal story. That wasn't enough. And now you're moving on to AB, or whatever the word is we can use for that. You pivot from point to point to point to point randomly. Like, there's no through line in your conversation. Y'all don't know how to have conversations. You literally can only speak in talking points, and like, there's no through line in your conversation. Y'all don't know how to have conversations. You literally can only speak in talking points and buzzwords. You're literally NPCs. Like, actual NPCs. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, in the short, I don't know if you left or whatever, but I'm gonna just say, like, I care about life, obviously, but, you know, I'm not gonna get into the AB conversation like you want me to. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, because you're probably wrong about that too. Like, usually NPCs like you haven't done any actual research on the things that you're talking about, and you're confident for some reason. Like, you're loud and proud and confident in your talking points because you watched a few videos. That's probably why y'all so sad with the Charlie Kirk thing, because now y'all don't know where to get your talking points from. Like, he was like a talking point merchant. A lot of y'all's first time hearing 1350 was from Charlie Kirk. Y'all finally found what y'all thought was legit, like, concrete evidence to prove that the blacks were bad with 1350. It's probably the first time you heard it was from Charlie Kirk. So I understand, like, you got to find a new nigga to get your talking points from. That's unfortunate for you. I hate that for you. You know? But you people are NPCs, man. You people are NPCs. Well, as soon as this shit happened, the first thing you people start doing is looking for a liberal to blame it on. The first thing you start doing when you hear somebody did this to Charlie Kirk was say, we declare war. You know? It wasn't this kumbaya shit y'all doing now. At first, it was, I'm pissed off, I'm angry, we're declaring war on leftists. You leftists, we're going to shut down every leftist organization. You're all terrorist organizations. Like, we're going to shut you all down. This is war now. We're pissed off. And then y'all found out that it wasn't a liberal Democrat leftist minority. It was actually a white man, a straight white man who was a Republican. And now the tune has changed. Now it's, actually, y'all, this is such a tragedy. We're so sad. Come on, y'all. We need to pray for his family. What about his kids, y'all? What about his family? He was a human being. Y'all, like, the fucking governor or whatever, he literally gets on stage and says, I was praying last night that it wasn't one of us. Really gets on stage and says, I was praying last night that it wasn't one of us. They're saying the shit out loud. They're not even being quiet about them hoping that they had a minority or a Democrat to blame this on. He said, G deaths were worth it in order to keep the Second Amendment. He got what he preached. I mean, you're not wrong about that. You're not wrong that he was a staunch Second Amendment advocate and literally said that, hey, man, he put his hands up and said, hey, man, look, sometimes motherfuckers got to lose their life. That's just a part of having the Second Amendment, y'all. I know it hurts. But sometimes, man, some people got to lose their life. That's the cost of having the Second Amendment, so we can protect all the other amendments, man. That's part of it. I know y'all want it to go down to zero, but it's never going to go down to zero. Jeremias, the AI, the Canva app wrote that for me, sir. I'm sorry that the AI failed me and you. Tell Canva to check the spelling, okay? I didn't write that. The Canva wrote that. But thanks for your concern for my spelling. You're really doing the Lord's work with your grammar Nazi bullshit. You know what? I forgive you. I'm coming in hot because I'm fighting against these NPC. You know what? I forgive you. I'm coming in hot because I'm fighting against these NPC conservatives. And look, man, you're allowed to be a conservative and be right wing or whatever. Like, that's not bad. It's not wrong. It's just like, first of all, don't be an NPC like that last dude I was talking to. And then secondly, let's not act like this isn't what this is for most of y'all who are morally grandstanding and talking about how bad everybody else is. This is just another point y'all are trying to score in the goddamn culture war. You know, y'all just looking for points to win in the culture war. This is why y'all was searching so hard and praying so hard that y'all could find a minority or a LGBT person to blame this on. As soon as it happened, everybody was like, it's the Democrats, it's the filthy leftists, we're tired of you leftists. Before y'all even knew who did the shit. Y'all didn't even know what happened. You just knew that it was a Democrat. And then we find out it was a Republican, and it turns into, come on, y'all. Everybody just hold hands together and pray for his family, everybody. Did the school kids, he wasn't a Republican? All right, you know what? The good thing for me is that I'm at my computer. So anything y'all try to fact check me on, let me see, the BBC, the AP, ABC News, ABC News. What we know about Charlie Kirk's unaliver. Let's see. Bro, about to bring up that fake picture. What fake picture? You're trying and failing to predict what I'm going to do. I'm on my computer. I'm not on my fucking phone right now. I'm not going to show the thing on the phone because I don't know how to do that yet. Let's see. The one with the Trump shirt that was proven to be fake. Yeah, I've never even seen that picture. You know what they say about assuming. We learned this in elementary school. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and who. And just you, actually. Let's see. Far left. Oh, you're saying that the far left thinks that he deserved to lose his life? Some of them probably do. If you go far left enough, if you go to any extreme, you'll find somebody that believes in the extreme. I'm sure they do. But I think most people have, at least most people to the right of Charlie Kirk, or I'm sorry, most people to the left of Charlie Kirk would say, you know, they're not happy that he lost his life, but are they going to set up a candlelight vigil and cry a river about it? Nah. The guy was found to got cooked by Kirk at his rally, and I guess that's why he did it. Okay, so now you're making up shit. He's saying that he was one of the people that he debated at one of these college campuses. Yeah. Now you're just making up shit. Let's see. Flood of false information. Okay, this is showing us everything that's false. It says claim Robinson is a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. The facts. This is false. Priscilla Uverno confirmed that we have no members of the DSA named Tyler Robinson in the country. So he wasn't a national Democratic Socialist of America. He wasn't a socialist. Excuse me. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Why does nobody have the link for this? I know I saw it somewhere. All right, let's see. Robinson was a registered Republican. This is false. Utah records say Robinson was registered as a voter, but not affiliated with either party. Okay, so he wasn't he wasn't a Republican. Cool. That's cool if he wasn't a Republican. He wasn't a Democrat though either. He wasn't affiliated with any of the mainstream American parties. So I stand corrected. He wasn't a Republican. He wasn't a Democrat either though. Parties. So I stand corrected. He wasn't a Republican. He wasn't a Democrat either though. He definitely wasn't like a hard communist leftist. Let's see. Said he's been more political in recent years. Yeah, he registered to vote, but he never registered any of his he didn't register it as any of the parties. Which makes sense because the words I'm hearing, the word on the street that I'm hearing is that bro was a groiper, like a Nick Fuentes follower. If I'm wrong about that, let me see. Matter of fact, let me Google that. Let's see. What's his name? Tyler. Come on, Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson. Let's see. I never heard of Charlie, but since watching these videos of this guy, you want to try that again? You want to try that one more time? What up, KB? KB. Who is this? Browns, George Knight, Bobo 138. What's up, man? What's going on? Johnny B. Me, Reb. What's going on, everybody? Radia, Ooby Dooby. Hey, hold up, wait. Port Life. Oh, wait. Hey, y'all coming too fast. Whoa, wait a minute. Y'all coming too fast. Y'all coming in here too fast, man. I can't keep up with all of y'all, bro. There's too many you motherfuckers in here. Shout out to y'all, though. Shout out to y'all for jumping in and jumping out. Sound off in the comments. I don't know how to do the thing where you could like add niggas to. How you do this? How do you do this? Give me 1 second. Y'all gotta be patient with me because this is my first time really doing one of these. So Hold up, I don't know if I did that right. Give me 1 second while I change this up. I can't stand the Democrats or Republicans, but what video showed Charlie saying anything nice? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. If you want to try to elaborate on that a little bit. Ooh. And while I try to figure out how to run this thing here, I'm going to order some pizza. All the video I see is him tearing down the black community. Oh, okay, that's what you mean. Yeah, I mean, if you depending on who you ask, they'll say that he's not talking down to the community. He's just saying the truth and telling them how they can fix their problems. You know, it's I mean, these people, they are professionals at wagging the finger at minorities, man. They're real good at that. They're real good at wagging the fingers at us and telling us how bad we are. We got this white on white crime happening. Nobody's just, wagging a finger about, you know what? The white community, y'all are so violent, man. What about the violence in your community? We need to deal with the white on white crime in your community. Maybe it's your culture. You know, we're not doing that to them this time. No empathy for someone who hates empathy. Amen. I mean, now with that empathy thing, I will say this. Because I did a lot of these the pew pew man was white, straight, right wing, and religious. True. That was true. But a lot of people were like saying you need to look at the context. All the things that people will bring up, they're like, you got to play the whole video. You got to play the whole hour-and-a-half long video to get the context. I will say, though, with that empathy thing, I think it was less of him saying that you shouldn't be empathetic to people. I think it was actually, bro just didn't really know what empathy and sympathy meant. Because the way he tried to explain it was like, you can't be empathetic to people because empathy means you have to feel what the other person is feeling, and you can't do that, which isn't true at all. Like, you definitely can feel the feelings. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it's not supposed to be exactly the same. You know, this was a case of a motherfucker trying to sound smart, talking about empathy is a new age word that we just started using like it's woke or something. Like, we've been using the word empathy and sympathy for hundreds of years. These are not we didn't make this shit up in 2016. Okay. But I think bro was just confused about what the word empathy meant. And he was trying to say, like, we shouldn't say empathy because that's woke and that's what the leftists say. We should say sympathy because that just means you feel bad for people. You know, like he was trying to actually everybody about how they used the word empathy, and he just didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I don't think he was trying to say that you shouldn't be empathetic to people. You know, it's still bad though. It's still wrong. I see the saddest thing about all of us through the school pewing, and everybody's talking about this guy. That's true. That's true. Apparently, there was a school shooting that. Oh, sorry. Oh, I said it. Shit. There was a school. What's up, Rosie? There was a school unaliving or whatever, and we're all talking about this nigga instead of that. You know, we was talking about this nigga on 9/11 instead of all the people that lost their lives on 9/11. Apparently, this nigga is more important than the 3,000 people in the World Trade Center. Winning the culture war and proving that the Democrats and the leftists are bad is more important than honoring the people who lost their lives in the World Trade Center. Apparently. You know. But you know how that shit go. You know how that goes. But if I can get people to you know, I'll let people up if you want to jump in. Just, excuse me. As long as you don't act like a jackass, I'm cool with letting motherfuckers in here. Y'all want to answer the thing and hold up. Let me change this one more time just so we can see what this says more. That might help fix. Hold up. Hold up. Hey. Okay, not that one. We don't play. Hey. Smoke weed every day. Oh, never mind. That's the only way I'm gonna be able to do it. That's fine. Satori, my G. What's up, Satori, my G, sir? But just like Canva asked, it says, "Does Charlie Kirk deserve to lose life? He did. Do it matter?" That's a good question. I guess it don't matter now. Just for clarification, I typed this up on Canva like 20 minutes after it happened. So I didn't know if he had lost his life yet. So that's why it's worded that way. That's why I had Canva. I typed in, did he deserve to lose his life? And Canva spit this out. This isn't even a sentence that I typed. It took words out of my sentence and misspelled some words for whatever reason. AI is supposed to be smart, but it did not follow my prompt at all. But anyway, yeah, I guess it don't matter now. I'm not laughing at him losing his life. I'm laughing at the fact that I had wrote this in the like past tense, or sorry, not past tense. Like I wrote it like, does he deserve to lose his life, as if he's still alive, even though he's not alive anymore. Hey, smoke weed every day. Kevin Carson, Mr. Hunter, you funny, bro. You funny. All right, these coupons are not hitting at all, bro. I'm gonna starve to death fucking around with Domino's right now. I'm so hungry too. Let's see, best deal ever. Let's see, build your own pizza for $9.99 with any toppings. Choose an additional stuffed crust for another $4. You know what? I'm gonna do that. Fart and Lizard, shout out to you. Excuse me. So, what should I do as... There we go. Stuffed crust. I am going to do the meat lovers as for my stuffed crust. Hey. Obladi Oblada. What's up, man? Yeah, there's a bunch of people coming in and out of here and not answering the question, bro. Like, come on, man. Let's talk about this shit. Everybody else want to talk about it. They're talking about it everywhere else. So I guess just go ahead and talk about it up in here real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let's really get into it. I speak only facts. Oh, I have to confirm that. I have to confirm that's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Vegas. What's up, Vegas? What's up, Vegas? We're getting a Hawaiian, some bacon. Yes. James Heath, 860. You look like you have a strong opinion about what happened to Charlie Kirk. Judith, What's up? What's up, Judith? Charlene Fisher. Your name, I only speak facts. And what's the facts you have about this Charlie Kirk shit, bro? Enlighten us. Educate the people. You know what I'm saying? Because apparently we're all misinformed. Carrie Alma. What's up, Carrie Alma? Apparently we're all misinformed. We don't know what the fuck we talking about. Carol. What's up, Carol? You look like you got a strong opinion on this too. Ariana. What do I think of I think it's always fucked up when people, lose their life to that type of violence, Okay. Old Glory 2024. What's up, Old Glory? You look like you have a strong opinion. Charles Reichow. But yeah, I don't think that bro deserved to lose his life, even though he was a disgusting right wing conservative, low key racist. If depending on who you ask, you would say they could say he's a high key racist, but I ain't gonna get too deep into that. Leslie, what's up, Leslie? What's up, Black Spider-Man? Michael Abraham. Jesus Christ, y'all coming in here a little too fast. Yeah, like I don't think it's I don't know. I don't think it's something to be like jumping for joy and happy about, but oh wait, I think somebody wanted to come in. Okay, the first guest. This is the first time I ever did this shit, so you have to excuse me if I don't know how to deal with this shit. But what's up, Hothead? What's going on?
So my thing is, did you see the video of him getting shot?
No, I'm not. I don't like watching shit like that, so I ain't watch it. Nah.
That's one of the things you should do before you enter a thing like this. But basically, all I'm saying is during right before he was shot, he was
Wait, before you go on, why do you think I need to watch a video of somebody losing their life to be able to
I
ask this
think they
question?
cut out everything I've watched, cut out the violent part of it, but what he was doing before he got shot, and what he was doing, first thing he started talking about was mass shootings. Then he started talking about trans men. Then he started talking about how many trans men were involved in these mass shootings, and then someone shot him. Now all these
Mm-hmm.
people up there are saying how somebody from the radical right shot this poor man. Now, would you consider, or should we start saying or would you say that this guy is on the radical right? I would, from what he was saying, but they can't say that. They have to say that it was the radical left that shot him, even though he was
Mm-hmm.
saying so many hateful things. It's not right that he was shot. They shot him for saying that, but this kid that shot him or may have shot him, in their own sayings or in all the news that I've seen so far, this kid came from a middle class Utah family.
Yep.
He voted for Trump last year and was supposedly radicalized in the last year. So that kind of gives me hope that we can unradicalize all these right people that are so radicalized right now. But still, it's wrong. But I don't know. I hate to say this, but I'm starting to lean towards conspiracy because it's just how heavily they've beaten the drum for this.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm still watching, but I'm not gonna come out and start yelling and screaming. I was just on another channel where the dude kept saying they've taken off the gloves 20 times in like
Right. They're
5
like, this
minutes.
is war. We're gonna get you,
Yeah,
liberals. Yeah, I seen that.
and it's like it's not good that anyone gets shot. But if the guy, I'm not saying he was asking for it, but the guy was doing really, really stupid stuff before he got shot. You know, that's all
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say, sir. Thank you for letting me come up. You have a good day.
For sure, bro. You too, man. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what bro's saying. Like, they immediately after the shit happened, these people go out saying, "This is war. We're gonna stop all you liberal leftist groups. You're all terrorists. We're gonna fight back." Like, they didn't even know who did the shit before they started doing all that. You know, they already looking for a minority or a leftist Democrat to blame it on before they know who did the shit. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But Ariana, you jumped up here. You got something to say?
Um, yes. Um, well,
Take your time.
one, I wanted to know what your position was.
Yeah, for me, bro, I don't think anybody deserved to lose their life over like politics and a political opinion or whatever. Uh, I will say, uh, am I like sad and crying and boo-hooing about it? Not really. Like, a lot of his worldview I didn't agree with. A lot of his policies and his opinions, specifically about my community, I didn't. I took quite umbrage with. So and that's what I explained it a little earlier. I don't know how long y'all been listening, but like I've been. I explained it like if you have an old uncle and that old uncle and his friend they've been friends for a long time, but his friend borrowed like $20 for him, and he never paid it back. And the uncle just hold that grudge for 15 years, and they never get cool again after that. And then the friend lose his life, like he catch a heart attack or some shit. Like that if that old uncle is like, this fuck nigga never paid me back my money, fuck him. Like, even during him not being alive no more, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see that as like, oh my god, you can't say that. He's not alive anymore. Like, that's what people do. Like, if they thought you were a piece of shit when you were alive, they're still gonna think you're a piece of shit when you're not alive. So, like, I personally don't really. I'm not like boo-hooing about him losing his life. That don't mean I think that it's good that it happened or that I think they should have did that. But I hope I'm making sense when I say that.
You make sense. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. This is so messed up. But I find it so weird, laughable when people do the extras and the crying and screaming on the internet. Like
Mm-hmm.
it don't gotta be Charlie Kirk. When it be a celebrity, I'd be looking like you don't know them personally. Like, why are you doing all of that?
Of
Um,
course.
so it's yeah, that I'm sorry, that's just very weird to me. But I also don't understand people's like obsession with celebrities and people. Yeah, so I find that weird within itself. But anyways, um, yeah, I do not think that he deserved to lose his life. Based off of his free speech.
Mm-hmm.
Um, especially the way that it happened, that was very tragic. Especially like honestly, this might be messed up to say. I feel more bad for the people that had to witness that. Um, and their potential trauma, anxiety now, just being able to be out in public and things of that nature. Again, I think that's very tragic. I'm very sure that the wife and the children are going through it. So that obviously is not a good thing to happen. But with that being said, um, I look at it in like a from like a multitude of different ways. I am. I think that free speech isn't really free,
Mm.
and I think, and this may be me reaching. I think, especially when we have all these people like, with cancel culture and things of that nature, and, people are like, oh, well, you can't say this, you can't say this. I'm a firm believer
Mm-hmm.
and you can say whatever you want to say, but you always, always, no matter what it is, the topic, you always have to understand that even though we have free speech, there are still consequences to the things that you say. So, just like I can say whatever the hell I want to say at my job, or say whatever I want to say about the president, but that doesn't mean that that doesn't come with consequences. And
Right.
so I just want to add that in there. Um, I lost my second train of thought. The other person can go ahead.
Yeah. Lane, you want to go next, bro?
Um, I pretty much fully agree with Ariana. In everything that you said. Um, I just, yeah, I agree. It's interesting to see like how much, uh, I think if everyone put the same amount of energy into so many lives, and I'm like, there are so many missing children. I think that's like one of the things that I worry about a lot, um, because I live in Detroit and we are on an international border, and it's like I see all the time when I go to the store of different children that go missing. It seems like on a like two, three a week, just in my own personal moving around, and it's like that doesn't get any coverage, and we hyper focus on these things. I've been seeing people comparing him to like political activists. I saw somebody make a post who works for the Detroit Free Press yesterday on it was a picture of him next to Malcolm X.
That's crazy.
And I mean, I
You know,
wrote
I've been
a
seeing him, all the pictures
dissertation,
next to MLK. It's
and
honestly
I'm
disgusting.
yeah, and I'm like, first off, he wouldn't exist without social media, and that wasn't around 50, 60 years ago, um, 70 years ago. Yeah, it's like there's a whole different purpose and intent. And when you're on the top of the totem pole and you have like an identity that receives the most privilege in this country and you're using your energy to go out and debate teenagers and whatnot, it just seems very, I mean, for me, it's very different. You know, and people keep saying, well, what if you switch the races or what if you switch the demographics in terms of like political or whatever? And it's like, they're the end of the day. And if you are not in a way that makes sense and is promoting like inclusivity and honoring the people that have been lost, like historically, and you're supporting this like culture and system that oppresses others, I think, I mean, you don't deserve it, but at the same time, it's like you're putting yourself out there. You know, I don't know. It's very strange to me. I don't really understand how everyone's hopped on this bandwagon, and I've seen a lot of Democrats and liberals also, you know, expressing their sympathy. And I really, every time they fall to the other side. And you don't see Republicans doing the same when anything happens to, you know, somebody on the left or anything like that. So it does seem like everyone uses the reaction to supremacy and racism as like it's an equal to the actual action and aggression. And it's just not. It doesn't equivocate, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, for me, bro, to me, the reason this is such a big deal to so many people, honestly, other than the shock factor of it happening live in front of everybody's face, is motherfuckers is looking for ammo in the culture war, bro. Like these motherfuckers, as soon as the shit happened, the first thing they thought, damn, we gotta find out if this is a Democrat. We gotta find out if this they were trans. We gotta find out if they were brown. Like,
You know what's funny? And like, I just, I don't understand why it's such a push for that. But it's just like, oftentimes we've seen that it's a white male. So in my head, I'm like, you already know this is a white man and probably from the right. I don't understand why we have this uproar. I don't understand why they had HBCUs in it.
right? What they say? Fuck us for? We ain't got
They
nothing to
started
do.
saying they said he was I think registered independent, but like was on the left because he was
Yeah,
homosexual.
supposedly he's been radicalized over the year. I don't know, but I know he came from a Republican family. But I mean, at the end of the day, that really doesn't matter. I think at least the outrage that I seen, like from my For You page, of like these people screaming and yelling, liberal animals, like it was a bit much.
Yeah, they're being so
I keep
extra
seeing
about it now.
these lives like calling on minorities to have an opinion about it, and I think that's part of to what we've seen historically. It's like there's a thing where it's like there's an expectation for BLK people to accept everything, everyone, and everything else, and never receive the same, in return. And it's like, why are we always going to be like, oh well, if people aren't support, like showing sympathy for this guy, you've really lost it. Your humanity. And it's like trying to find a way to dehumanize by setting these really high standards that aren't even really beneficial for oneself. To be like,
Yeah. Well,
I'm
they're
in full
also
support.
trying to find a way to make it our fault. They're trying to find a way to make us
Mm-hmm.
wrong. In this situation, honestly, none of these conversations these people are having should have anything to do with black people at all. Like our names should not be coming up in none
It's
of this shit.
ridiculous.
This is white on white crime, and they
Mm-hmm.
somehow
I
found a way
agree.
to turn this around into how bad black people are again. The same way, 2 or 3 days before this shit happened, all anybody wanted to talk about was that girl that got poked up on the train or whatever, and it turned into a rallying cry of like the blacks, they're so violent. We got to do something about the blacks and their violent culture. And now that this white on white crime is happening, it's this person. We just need to pray for Charlie Kirk, and he's a human being. We just need to have peace and like okay, this when it's white on white crime is not pathologized to the whole community, but when it's black on
White
black
on
crime,
white crime does not
200
exist.
years to segregate people into one area and redline everything. So like, and then take away all the resources. You can only assume that. I mean, black on black crime's not even a real
yeah, these
thing.
motherfuckers.
It's just ridiculous.
They're so unserious. Like this is blatantly just another thing for them to fight in the goddamn culture war. These people are not serious. And I don't take them serious when they're like, "We're going to go to war with you liberals. We're really mad now." Like I don't believe none of that shit. Like these people, they're
Divesting from education really worked, apparently, because people seem to not be able to have any type of common sense
yeah, it's
putting
like
things
gang
together.
banging, bro. These people act like the Bloods and the Crips, bro. Like they banging they set every day, hard as hell. No matter what happened, it turned into a conversation about the
Yeah, it's
Democrats.
not that serious. Like you being Republican or a Democrat does not have to be your personality.
It really is their personalities, bro. It's their whole personality.
Just
So
made a comment about that. Like they think that Kirk felt attacked because he was a YT man, and in our culture, they feel like they're being attacked because everyone's saying that they're at the top of the totem pole. And I'm like, I think it's because the people that are offended by that or take that and internalize it, because most YT men are probably not like that. It's because they put so much leverage on their identity as of being YT. It's like if you just looked at yourself as a human and didn't feel the need to go and crusade for your rights, even though you're, the one who's.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is to me, bro. Like this is again,
Yeah.
like we have such a short attention span in this country. Like we're gonna stop giving a fuck about this in about 2 weeks anyway. This is just another notch on the belt, another example for people to bring up in arguments. Like they're acting like this is a life changing thing that they really care about. They don't really care about this. They looking for ways to denigrate and talk shit about minorities and the LGBT, and they somehow they're over here talking about this person lived with a trans person, and like that's supposed to mean something. Like if they lived with a trans person, apparently that makes them more likely to do something like this. I guess I don't even know what they're trying to say. So
Disproportionately targeted, right, by violent crime. I
Yeah.
don't think they're the ones really committing it very often.
Yeah, like bro, when bro got up on stage, what's his name? I forgot I guess he's like the governor or whatever. And this man was over here like, I was praying for 30 hours. I was praying that it wasn't one of us. They so bold with it. They saying it out loud on camera. He was literally praying that it wasn't one of them, that it wasn't a foreigner, that it wasn't a white, straight, you know, cis het man. They was praying that it wasn't one of them. They was hoping that they could find a minority to blame it on, an LGBT to blame it on, an extremist, socialist, communist, anarchist to blame it on. Like these people are like lifelong members of the goddamn culture war, and it's pathetic to me because like gang banging for any one of these sides is what's the word I want to look for? Like it's not productive to do this gang banging thing where you're banging the set no matter what and going for your side no matter what, you know.
Yeah, you have to
And
be able to have a diversity of thought and recognize like some things might be valuable in this, you know, whatever. And but there's so many things that Democrats do that I shake my head at, and it's kind of like, what? I form my own.
yeah,
I
like
form my own opinions, you know.
I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. You
Yeah.
know, depending on who you ask, I'm like a filthy commie socialist, or I'm a liberal or whatever. Like I would consider myself like a social democrat. So not quite a hard leftist, but not quite just like a standard liberal. Like I am anti-capitalist, but you know, in my mind, ain't nothing we can do about this shit. We're stuck here. It's too late to break down the capitalist system now. We're too far gone, so we got to work within this shit. But you know, that's a whole other thing. But
But
like,
you do vote, right?
I didn't vote last time. I didn't vote last
You did
time.
not. Okay. Is
Yeah.
there a reason why, or
Honestly, I just wasn't excited with Kamala, but I do think I should have voted for Kamala because, like, we are fucked up now. I ain't gonna cap to you. I should have voted for Kamala.
There was a website called Swap Your Vote that was started by somebody my sister knows in Philly. I ended up doing that. Essentially, two people from uh, a blue state will vote in your interest. So I voted
Yeah,
third party, sent them my people, and then I voted for Harris. Although I was planning on not voting, but then that was what kind of got me where I was like, at least representation in numbers. You know, that third party candidate can have a slight uptick in their overall, while that state still wins. But I'm in a swing state like Michigan, so
well, they're
I thought
doing
that
their
was kind
best
of
to
funny.
take the vote away from everyone they can. So, the next time you get the opportunity, especially for the big one, for the presidential race, if you want to see something change, vote. It's the best way to do it.
yeah. By the way, I got too
No
many people
commercials
agreeing
there.
with me right
No
now. I wanted
commercials.
to
Sorry.
argue. I was trying to argue with niggas, man. Where are all those angry Republicans at that was in here earlier? Why they don't want to come on here? I was trying to argue with motherfuckers. We agreeing too much right now.
You gotta rage bait. You gotta say
Okay, let me
Charlie
think of
Kirk
something
deserves to lose
vile
his
to
life.
say.
I was gonna say I'll rage bait you. Charlie Kirk was a saint.
Oh, you
I
motherfucker. Oh,
I mean, but yeah, I'm on my way to the memorial right now.
nah, man. Like, I mean, Charlie Kirk was just a bog standard, like, how do I say, like, he was like a Ben Shapiro type to me. Like, he's like,
Nah, he was worse than Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? With him, he's not as extreme as
yeah,
was Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was doing that for the grift on the money, for the money, okay?
true,
He
true.
was
I believe
totally
that.
on the grift.
Israel Palestine side, where Charlie Kirk was a little more malleable, and we see now that he was starting to shift his views.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
You
was Ben
realize
Shapiro.
that during this whole thing, whenever a mass shooting or a shooting happens, you talk. There's always the debate about gun control, right? I haven't heard a single word about gun control, and this guy was like a major person on their side.
Well, the thing is,
Um,
I was like understanding that. I was like, okay, well, maybe they'll call for gun control now, but does not
no,
seem like it.
half of their group, half of
Listen,
their people behind them
if
have
they didn't
guns.
call for if they didn't call for gun control back when 26 kids got unalived up in Connecticut, you know goddamn well they wasn't gonna call for this.
I
Well,
thought
that's
it
their
was
Lord
Like
and
that,
Savior.
they
The
will
way they
never.
crying on the internet, crying and screaming.
Yeah, but they doing that though because again, like I hate this. This is the only thing that I agree with Charlie Kirk is that toxic empathy is a bad thing. It really is because what it is now they're sitting here trying to take the high road like somebody unalive their daddy or something, and that we're supposed to be expected to have empathy. Why? They don't
Yeah,
have no
no.
empathy for nobody else, only for people who they feel like matters. So he was correct on that part. Toxic empathy is dangerous because now they have an expectation. I don't know if you've heard them up here in TikTok land, but they have the expectation for you to grovel at the fact that this guy got unalived. Literally, they do.
Yeah, like I've had a bunch of
Like if you
people.
say, I feel bad,
Oh,
but
go
he
ahead.
did say this, people are saying, oh, well, that's what all you guys say is you say it's sad, but. And I'm like, well, you gotta acknowledge somebody's history and past, or at least express how you feel.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Yeah,
like
and it's
just
almost like
because.
it's not enough.
Yeah, just because somebody lost their life don't mean they ain't a piece of shit no more. They still a piece of shit after they lost their life the same way they was when they were still alive. Like that don't change. Like this is a standard
For
that
me.
they're just now trying to put on people because they know that they would have this. They would do the same thing if it was one of the people on the left, one of the filthy liberals that they hate so much. If one of them lost their life, eventually it would start. At first it'd be like thoughts and prayers because they gotta try to look good, but eventually it would turn to jokes. Eventually it would turn into roasts. Like they was doing that. Literally, I don't know if any of y'all seen it. It literally was a meme on this app
Or
about George Droid and the Clankers. Like they was trying to be funny, like being racist to robots, and they was calling them Clankers. And one of the robots was George Droid, and like I think what's his name? Charlie Kirk himself posted up a picture, something saying like George Floyd 5 years sober or something like that. Because he lost his life
Well,
five
not
God.
years.
only that
Oh, yeah,
too,
I remember that.
and not only
Yeah.
that too, like the thing for me is that like that senator and her husband who were unalived in Minnesota, you know, they weren't this outraged. Like literally, that was actually political violence, right? Because the person who did that actually had a list to unalive 45 Democratic senators, and
Hmm.
that was 100% political violence. I don't understand how Charlie Kirk is considered political violence. He was not a politician. He was a
Yeah,
loudmouth that went to different college campuses to argue with kids. I mean, what?
yeah.
How is he a political figure?
Charlie Kirk is as much of a political figure as I am. Okay, like this is a dude that did podcasts for a living and talked to and also too. I'm glad you brought up the him going to colleges, talking to the kids. Can we talk about how bitch made it is to set up a tent at these colleges and argue with college students who was going about their day, and you have
Yeah.
prepackaged talking points already ready to go. So and when you slam them, it makes it look like you completely destroyed and defeated them in the marketplace of ideas. Like that's so bitch made to me. Like I don't know if
No, I
anybody.
And then
think
you
that
know
the
what
biggest
too,
one
and the
was
thing
when
is,
people, like known debaters, would actually come to these debates. He would decline debating with them. He wouldn't want
not only
to
that,
talk
but
to them.
Yeah, he
when
declined
he
doing
went
that thing.
to Cambridge, Oxford, when he went to the University of Oxford,
That was
yeah, he got
great.
totally fucking cooked.
Oh, they
He
ate
got
That
him.
was
totally
a
fucking
great
They ate
debate.
him
cooked.
up.
They ate his ass up. See, he too busy trying to argue with these slack jaw yokels in Utah and all these goddamn places. These kids ain't, they're not equipped. But he went
So,
to a university that actually is equipped to have the conversation with them, and he totally folded.
and as soon as they started questioning him on his beliefs, he was like, well, what do you know about what conflict is going on in Southeast Asia? And the kid was like, Myanmar. And he was like, well, what conflict is going on in Sudan? Or in Africa? And he was like, well, Sudan, Congo. And it was very interesting to see how he shut down and was trying to like immediately attack the kid. But I'm like, this is like a 20-year-old, you know, and you're like deflecting. And then at the end, he said something along the lines of, well, America's going to, or your country, I think it was Britain, right? Yeah, it's going to turn into a third world developing country. He used the term that Trump used, shithole. And I just thought that was really kind of incredible, and also kind of showed exactly how he views, you know, anybody who doesn't agree with him by, you know, typecasting him.
Well, also too, like, you know, it's for me like for example, the person in the comment section, right? Talking about he lived with his trans partner, whatever. They are grasping at straws to try to flip it to make this guy seem like he's some left wing liberal. Listen, the guy was a Nick Fuentes Republican. That's what he was. He didn't think Charlie Kirk was radical enough.
Yeah, I mean, well, Chris Jenner's Republican.
So, you know, you do know that Charlie Kirk and Nick Fuentes hated each other. Like, they did not like each other, like, at all. And
yeah,
so,
it's internal.
Yeah, so this kid, you know, he got radicalized, but he got radicalized even more so to the right. Not to the left. And this is the problem I'm having. Like, they will not. I don't know if you guys watch Bill Maher or whatever. I love Bill Maher. He's like, you know, like the centrist leftist, whatever. But he had Ben Shapiro on his show last night, and he totally cooked that food because even Ben Shapiro was trying to say that he was left wing, and he had to tell him, like, you don't fucking know shit, bro. Why are you on here lying?
They're calling Charlie Kirk left. There, a lot of the Republicans on here were saying that he's like a centrist, and a lot of the Republicans thought he was not, you know, bigoted enough to be
right. And it's those right wings that like don't like Jews, you know, don't like, you know, it's those people. It's like that's Nick Fuentes' people. Like they don't like Jews, they don't like nobody really, to be honest, unless you're just a cis white man.
Using political correct like verbiage and rhetoric to be able to spew.
I don't mean to cut in, but Kenny, I appreciate you bringing me up. Y'all have a great day and have a great day. Okay, good night or goodbye.
All right, you too, bro. I'm probably gonna finish this in a little bit here because I gotta go get some pizza because I'm starving. This is my first live I'm running on my own, so thanks for y'all showing up here.
Yeah, and this is the thing too, like these white people
I was looking forward to arguing with niggas, but you know, it is.
Well, there's a couple in here. There was a couple down there right now, but they ain't gonna come up. I said there's a couple down there, but they're not gonna come up though. But, oh well.
Of course not. Oh, thank you. I don't even know what that means, but I appreciate that too. I don't know what that does, but I'm new to all
white
this.
on white crime needs to stop because I don't want them getting us involved in a white on white crime. I mean, seriously.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying, bro. When I heard that the HBCUs had to close down, I was like, "What they said? Fuck me for? Like, we ain't have nothing to do with this."
They started involving people on white crime during the Civil War when they were trying to get.
Over here in California, these white teen men. In California, these white teen men. So there's Huntington Beach, which I do not go to Huntington Beach because it's basically like the rednecks of like Southern California, right? These white dudes was in Huntington Beach with their MAGA hats on, out there talking about white men need to step up. They're just looking stupid as hell. Just looking stupid.
What?
It's like, what the hell?
White men fight back. White men fight back.
I'm living like the opposite.
That was here. It was crazy.
And I had the Hebrew Israelites on my corner with the megaphone out, and I was just walking to the store. I didn't realize they were there. They're like, white men are the, you know, all of this stuff. And I thought it kind of funny because immediately as I get to the store, it's like 3 or 4 people that I know, you know, but I asked the guy to wash my dog because I wanted to go in the store and I had my dog. And he was like, go give it to one of them. I was like, no, guys, what's a bit? But you learn how to recognize the difference between the oppressed and the oppressors. So I get what they're saying, you know. They're not talking about me specifically. but it's also just different, you know. Very bizarre world that we live in, man.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy, but shout out to y'all for. Wait, hold up. Is there one more person trying to jump in? Hold up. I'll let a couple more people jump in, and then
How's it
we'll
going?
finish this off.
Man, what's going on, bro?
Ooh, that's crazy. But yeah, Josh, you want to jump in first?
I'd like to say no. He never deserved to lose his life. No one deserves to lose their life. What happened to him was unfortunate, and it was just a sad day.
No, I agree. I don't think people should lose their life over. This is supposed to be like. I thought this was the rage bait, but apparently I didn't rage bait it good enough because all the people that's supposed to be trying to argue with me about this ain't up here.
Bro, I've been hosting lives for the past 3 days about this, and I've had over 600 people in lives. I've had 200. Just earlier, I was averaging about 200 the whole 4 hours. And I'll tell you, it's been wild. It's been hard to keep up with it.
Yeah, this is like my very first live I'm supposed to be doing what I'm not supposed to be doing. So y'all gotta forgive me, but
I told you got a rage bait. Spell his name wrong.
No. I didn't rage bait anything. I posted a picture of him with and I left it open to discussion and just kind of let people in and speak their piece on stuff. I don't know how it kicked off so fast with me because my first one, it was probably 100 people in it, and then next thing you know, I guess how I moderated it and kept it, I didn't let people come in and say ignorant stuff to where they were just defaming him, doing any type of disgrace. Like, they would come in and say he deserved this, or just come in with just nonsense. If you come in, I kept it like Charlie kept his debates, and if you can't talk civilly on there, then you're gone. And I guess a lot of people appreciate that, but this is real chill right now. I mean, we got 7 people in here and nobody's arguing.
yeah. Oh, my bad. That's a bad thing. I wanted people to argue. I'm trying to argue with people. I'm trying to cause discord and and problems. I don't want peace. I want problems always.
What side of the fence are you on?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, like, I don't, I don't think he deserved to lose his life over his political opinion, obviously. Like, I'm not happy that he lost his life. But he definitely, to me... Oh, sorry.
You want me to suggest a topic that may kick off with you?
What you got?
Just put up here, in memory of Charlie, is college a scam?
Is college a scam?
Yeah, in memory of Charlie at the top, and then put, is college a scam? And see what happens.
That's funny. I might just do that. Actually, that's a good ass idea. I might do that next.
I think if you get off here right now, do that, put it right back up, you'll have 400 viewers in a matter of 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good ass idea. What's up, bro?
Hi.
I know you jumping in front of somebody, but go ahead.
Sorry, that was rude. Sorry, I'll be quiet.
But all right, buddy, I'm gonna add it live. And
all right, Josh, bro.
So I'm gonna hit you a follow.
All right.
Y'all have.
Appreciate that. All right, bro. You take it easy. All right.
All right. Yeah.
No, the name of the person is name. Wait.
I think he thought because he's at the top, right?
Yeah. The name of the person is it's above you.
I'm so sorry. I'm so.
Seriously, bored. You're fine. Nobody's
My mic's
on
off.
an interruption. It's fine.
No, you're
We're
good.
good
You're
here.
good. That was actually really funny. All right, it's above me now. You there? Your echo is crazy.
But can I just say, it's really not up to us to say whether he deserves to. I think we're shown that it's the higher power, that the universe. Could it be karma? Maybe. I think it could be, because you're spreading all this hate in the name of God and saying you're Christian. I don't think that God likes that. Then, you know, how it came out that he's unalived by his peer, it doesn't make any sense to any of us. So it's just weird how, you're saying that BLK people are so dangerous and all this stuff, and immigrants, legals, and you get, unalived by your own people. You-
Why do we have a crowd?
So it's proven, and it's still weird that people are still saying that he was unalive for his opinion. So Lo, it looks like you all have the same opinion. So we got to really find out like what the real issue is. But I feel like, you know what? Yeah, could it be karma? Just like sometimes, yeah, good things happen to. I mean, bad things happen to good people. But then, yeah, you look at it like was it the serial killer, Jeffrey Dahmer. He, or Senator Unaliver, sorry. How he, met his fate. And, the weird circumstances that the person just being there at the right, working with him in the prison, unalived him. I just think that. So whether, we think that he deserves to or not, I feel like something, higher than us. It's just like my name. It's above us to what we really feel.
It's above you. Yeah, she said, God said this is what she wanted it to be. This is because of what God wanted. Okay, you could go serious.
Okay, sorry. Patience isn't the virtue I was blessed with. Um,
No,
Lane
you're
said
good. You're good,
something that I
bro.
thought was like really, I don't know, I just kind of want to chime back to it. And I started like in on this conversation a little late, but you made that comment about like the moment when someone said something about watching your dog where you like, you said what, like it was in that moment that I could tell like the oppressed from the oppressor. And I think like the conversation that's going on around Charlie Kirk, like I don't know. It really annoys me because I don't know, like I don't really care if he deserved it or not. I think like it feels like expected behavior when things get so tense. I mean, like I think he made a platform. Yeah, he got people out, but when they were out, he made a platform out of like centering in his debates the legitimacy of human lives, not like the legitimacy of policies that might affect the whole. I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean, I don't think he deserved it, but I do think that like it's like another moment, like the first time Trump got elected, and like all of the people, all of the fucking, liberals were like, oh my God, this is what Americans are like. And it's like, we have known this. Like, it just takes these, like, unfortunately insane acts, right, to like radicalize. And unfortunately, like, radical acts radicalize all sorts of people. But I do think, like, it wasn't unexpected. No, it was unexpected. But, like, I mean, I think, like, it's not unprecedented, is kind of what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, the comment about somebody watching my dog, the person did watch my dog, but they were just making a joke that I should go ask one of the Hebrew Israelites on the corner that were preaching against, like YT men and YT supremacy, which I agree with most, 80% of what they say, although, I couldn't join or whatever. So it was kind of on the opposite spectrum of the idea of people going out and preaching for something that they feel strongly about. Whereas when, yeah, somebody's oppressed, it's a different circumstance. So I'm not taking that personally versus, or feeling the need to like, okay, I have to go and, get these guys because they're preaching against my race. I don't feel that way because I understand also the dynamics of
Oh,
the
sorry.
country we
I
live in, right?
Yeah.
But I live
Um,
in a majority African American neighborhood, and so they do come like and sit on my corner and will preach about this stuff to try to get people to join. But it's interesting because when I go to the gas station every morning and have my coffee and talk to the people, I was outside and I 4 or 5 people, I chatted with. So I think it's interesting because really people don't pay that much mind because they recognize what's going on already in the world, and it's really the people who are on extreme sides of things. But even then, I understand the extremist side of people, preaching for. I mean, in this case, it's like black homogeneity, which is, fine, almost close to what Malcolm X's point was until closer to the end of his life. But just looking at both sides and how people can take that information, internalize it, and say, oh, well, they're talking about me because they said YT, versus like the other side or BLK and taking it personal. But there is a personality to it or something that's more personable to it when there is an actual system of oppression that contributes to it and that you're reinforcing versus trying to push back against.
yeah. Okay, you
And
said
that's a very
something.
small portion of the of people that are, activated like that are minorities because of this, the system is very oppressive of those groups anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Can I ask? So kind of like running with, and if talking about your neighborhood is like, I don't want to do that, let me know. But I
Oh,
think like
sure. I
that's
live in
kind of like
Detroit,
a
first of all.
neat example of kind of like, and I'm kind of gonna stretch, but also right, like I love conversation. So rock with me here. Um that I mean like, them being there and like kind of like promoting this and talking about like black homogeneity and like kind of like how anytime that black people and or BLK people folk in American history have tried to kind of like expand, right, like
Mhm.
what BLKness can be, right? I mean, I think most like the thing that comes to my mind is that BLK people can't be punk, or right, like the idea that like punk is white and it's like an inherently like anti-establishment thing, and like
Mhm.
oftentimes like being BLK is something where like you experience that, right, like as
Yeah.
people who have had to fight for an established identity,
Well, like if you look at, I mean, it is Detroit what I'm talking about, and so it's like
yeah,
the home of house and
yes,
electronic music and tech music that or techno music that really started here,
hmm,
and that was kind of co-opted by Berlin, and these kind of fringe European communities that latched onto it and kind of promoted it as like their thing. Yeah, but I mean, of course, that exists, and it's not. And I think that's not a problem that's needed,
yeah, no, and
especially
the
now.
problem that I was the problem that I'm kind of like posing, I'm sorry, I'm so fucking wordy, um
No, you're
but
fine.
the kind of like thought that I want to lob to you is with like that attempt to, right, like diversify. um I question, right, like with those people on the corner, especially with like topics of like, like extreme, something that there are people who have like extreme beliefs on, and there are, like there's what's happening in Gaza and there's all of this stuff around, right? Like that faith and kind of like the politicization of that faith in America. And so I guess I'm curious. Sorry, here's the question.
Go ahead.
I mean, to me, as like an onlooker, and like I'm like a queer person, so like queer theorist. A lot of my stuff is like Judith Butler, Bell Hooksy kind of lensish, but not like the Malcolm X lens. So I like love that from you for your perspective. But yeah, okay. It feels to me kind of like another attempt to like create like a pipeline, you know, like the military. And I think of, oh fuck, of course, like I can't
You
think of
know,
another one, but like,
there's an antique shop across the street run by an Iranian guy, and he just put his like "Free Gaza, Palestine" sign out. And as I walked back across the street, you know, I felt really poorly because there is a woman that's been sleeping in front of the antique shop. Like they have a kind of a longer building. She's been sleeping there for like almost a week. I brought her food once, but I, you know, thought to myself, these guys are screaming on megaphones on the same corner of this woman who's sleeping, and you know, we could all get together right now and probably find her a blanket and some other things. But I talked to the older Iranian man who runs the antique shop, and he asked a couple questions, and we had a long talk about, you know, just it's a really respectful conversation about what's going on. He said, "I wonder why they don't go down to Eastern Market or downtown because they'd get more people because I didn't see a single person walk up to these guys, and I was no other. I mean, the only other YT person in sight was me and I guess this Iranian guy who's Middle Eastern, and you know, it just shows that I mean, a lot of people recognize like, oh, that's not necessarily for me." But I think because the like YT supremacy preachers, they have more people feel more apt to relate to that because they know they have the protection and the privilege from it. Whether you know if you become so radicalized as a minority that you face even more scrutiny and like a lack of protection. So that could potentially be the reason that people don't fully, you know, but there's also just a lot of inconsistencies, I think, with that particular group, as I do feel with most groups who are heavily extreme. But I think of myself as extreme in terms of like being anti-capitalist, a bit of an anarchist,
hell
communist,
yeah,
you know.
hella punk.
So it's just, you know, but
Um,
people already know me because I've lived in this neighborhood for 30 years. So it's like I'm just walking, and they had me on camera because I'm walking across the street, and they've got the camera set up with the guy preaching, and I just gave everybody a little wave, you know, not too much, not too, but they, you know, it's just funny because I even ran to this guy. Oh my God, I remember you from high school, and I said, "Can you watch my dog real quick because I can't bring him in the store?" And he grabs my dog, and but that's the guy who made the joke. He said, "Why don't you go give it to them?" And I said, "Don't play with me right now." And you know, we just kind of laughed about it, but. You know, it was just a really not that relevant, but it was just kind of a thought, you know, because I did just experience that, and I think that people feel emboldened and enraged by things like that because they feel like they're being personally called out, and I'm like, you have to detach your identity from being YT, a woman, cis, BLK, all of that. I mean, there's a level of humanity that we all share. And if you detach your identity from it, you can see that there is oppression and it is real and it's based on identity. But that doesn't mean you have to attach to your identity and feel threatened personally when it comes into question. Because you should also be questioning your identity or, you know, your role in society based on those
yeah.
rules and
Okay,
regulations.
I got another one I want to lob to you because I liked kind of like what you were saying.
I'm going to follow you too
Um,
because we can chat more.
okay.
Go ahead.
But okay, you kind of like talked about right going beyond kind of like the intersections and seeing right like kind of the core of humanity, right? And like the way that we look at some of these experiences that right like we collectively will go through. Um but like that with that in mind, I think like one of the things, especially like with this, you know, that does Charlie Kirk deserve to lose his life? I feel like the nuance and complication of human feeling is kind of lost in these like professing like videos about how like we need to have empathy, people can't laugh, you can't make jokes. Like I think of like times of survival and like all sorts of movements throughout like all of history, like people don't share one emotion. Like yes, we can all
Yeah.
experience trauma. So I guess for me, like the question that I want to lob, yeah, is like how do we want like the value of a human life to always be recognized, but also not police the fact that there will always be different feelings on something major.
Oh, that's a good question.
I know.
Yeah,
Can you
because it's like
ponder it
really
with me?
exploring. Yeah, it's like exploring what do we deem as good and bad, and what whose existence has like harmful repercussions for others in a way. Um, that kind of makes me think of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
like
Can I
why?
throw out
Because
like
I
an
think there's a
example?
right and a
Go, go,
wrong,
go,
in
go.
my
Yeah,
opinion.
go.
Go ahead.
No, no, you go. I like where you're
Well, I
going.
was thinking that there's like right and wrong in terms of, and I'm raised Christian Catholic, but I also don't really like, you know, I practice sometimes, but I'm not. That's
Yeah.
not.
No, I love
Yeah,
that
it's like
because
I don't
I
connect anything
honestly
with identity.
I tend to like look at things much more secularly, like very spiritually. Like spirituality is huge for me, um, but very like secularly. So I do love like yeah, I want to hear kind of like even though right you're not necessarily practicing, I do think you and I might look at this like conversation around like moral and good and bad a little bit differently. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I want to hear kind of like finish out that thought if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that if you have, I mean, I gotta think a little bit here, but
Okay. I
if
can throw out my
somebody
like
professes
example.
himself as like a Christian, or
Yeah.
being like really, I look at Jesus, how did Jesus live and what was he okay with? And if we look back, even if like right now, would the death of Pontius Pilate be justified? Or would the death of King
Hmm.
Herod be justified when he, the day that he found out that Jesus was being born, he sent out the militia to kill every child that was born in a week's period, um, which happens to be my birthday. It's the only reason I know that fact in the Bible, because they made us go through and study it was like, and I was like, how do we dates? We're not, that was the Gregorian calendar. This was
Right, right,
way
right.
later in the 1300s, but yeah, just, oh my God, sorry, people drive crazy. So loud. I'm trying to talk outside for a minute. This lady just drove by a motorcycle with a what do you call it? A shiesty mask that is like neon neon yellow. That's so cool.
That's a moment.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's like she
That is
gosh.
was
a
in
moment.
the first purge.
Man,
Love
I have like
that.
people on my block with like one of those like those like cars with three wheels that you can like lean back in, and like
The
there's like a
slingshot.
convertible. Yeah, we got a lot of slingshots over here. There's a lot going on my block. It's fine. No, I love it. It's
Hey,
just
but
lively.
I know y'all were having like a real good convo, but I gotta go pick some pizza up.
Yeah, but
So
you were
Okay,
gonna shut
yeah.
this down a while ago. We followed each other.
Sorry. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, we really just kind of took this over. All right, thanks for letting us talk.
for sure, for sure. Y'all
Yeah,
take it easy, man.
you let me down if you want to, because I'm about to go make some dinner for my grandma.
All right, I
Okay.
got y'all. Take it easy.